Hello, BookTube, and everybody else watching this on YouTube. I'm Tim, and I'm here with another episode of Tim's Reads. In this episode, I'll do my May wrap up, showing talk about what I read in May, and also about what I'm currently reading. During the month of May, I read 6 books altogether. 3 were physical books and 3 were just moving this over something. I just moved something over so I can also see my notes here. But 3 were physical books and 3 were e-books that I read. I'll show you the physical books first. First one is Without Remorse by Tom Clancy. This book isn't about Jack Ryan, but the main character in this book, he's in some of the Jack Ryan books, starting with the Cardinal of the Kremlin, and this character got popular so fast in the Jack Ryan books that Tom Clancy decided to write this book, which is about the character's name is Mr. Clark or John Clark, and Tom Clancy decided to write this book to pretty much give show Mr. Clark's history and how he got to be working for the CIA. It's a real good read. It's a longer book. It's 750 pages. So it's a long read. I had started in April and I finally finished it at the beginning of the month. And I gave it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Next up, it's something related to my other hobby, which is collecting music. This is Dolly, My Life and Other Unfinished Business. It's an autobiography by Dolly Parton from back in the 90s. And here she's writes about her childhood in eastern Tennessee in the hills and stuff, and being poor, in a poor family and stuff. And and she goes from there all the way through getting into the music business and show business and everything. Talks about her period with Porter Wagner, and then her solo career and everything. And she has humor, Tyson humor, all the way through the book with this. And I was laughing so hard at times reading this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars also. The last book a physical book that I read is A Walk in the Woods by Bill Bryson. It's subtitled Rediscovering America on the Appalachian Trail. This is also pretty much nonfiction, but he writes it in a humorous style of him and his friend Stephen Katz attempting to hike the Appalachian Trail back in the 90s, and he'll go into like some history of some of the stuff in the areas that they're hiking in and stuff too. And like I said, he adds humor in his own way to it. He originally got to be known by books he wrote like on England and stuff, and a lot of them involved hiking and stuff, but he was telling how much hiking is different on the Appalachian Trail than it is over in Europe. See, he was originally from Des Moines, Iowa, which is, and I'm originally from Iowa, so I had heard of him before this. So I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. For ebooks, first one I read was The Hound of the Baskervilles by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Of course, it's a Sherlock Holmes book. It takes place in pretty much most of it takes place in southwestern England, if I remember right, in the area of the moors, and they believed that it was about a wealthy family that thought they had a hoax on them from the past, because it seemed like the eldest whoever inherited Baskerville Manor died, and there's a new there's one the latest one. There's one that had just recently died, and another one was coming in from the United States or Canada, and Holmes and Watson are brought in to investigate it and figure out what's behind all this. I gave this book about 4 out of 5 stars. The second one I had read is the Blue Fairy book by Andrew Lang. It's first of 12 of the fairy books that he wrote. Each one a different color for the name. And well, anyway, it's a compilation of fairy tales from various areas, and some of them are ones that we've heard of from when we were kids, or like there's like 37 fairy tales in this one here, and it has some like Little Red Riding Hood and Rumpelstiltskin and Beauty and the Beast, among many others. Oh, and Hansel and Gretel are in this one too. Some of them in this are more morbid than what I remember from teachers reading to us in elementary school back in the 60s. But I think this would be a book that fans of science fiction might like, because of the battles with giants and ogres and gnomes and dwarves. I gave this one a rating of 3 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I read, I just finished it yesterday, is a compilation of, it's called Esther Pieces of Mystery in 4 volumes. And this one is subtitled Detective Stories. This is all one that's in the public domain, along with the other 2 ebooks I've read, which are also considered to be classics. This one has 8 detective short stories by various authors like Edgar Allan Poe and Arthur B. Reeves, which I hadn't heard of him before, but the story in there got me interested in reading his novels. And Anna Catherine Green, Walkie Collins, and of course they had one Sherlock Holmes short story in that I read before, and there's some others in there too, but I really enjoyed this one. Also, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Now, for the books I've started for this month, there's one physical book that I'm starting, and I'll be getting to others in the month. This is Firefox by Craig Thomas. This you might remember the movie with Clint Eastwood in it, where Clint Eastwood is of Russian character is of Russian descendancy, and he was a pilot in Vietnam for the United States and stuff, and he's sent to the Soviet Union to steal a new, very advanced high-tech fighter plane where the weapon systems are controlled by thoughts or the mind, but the thing is, have to think in Russian. Then the ebooks I'm starting, because passing the other day of Greg Allman, I started reading My Cross to Bear by him, which is an autobiography. I've also started The Hornet's Nest, or the Scorpion's Nest. Sorry about that, by Nate Ranzo. It's a modern day thriller with ties back to experiments and stuff done back in World War II. And I'm also starting to read the Scarlet Lake Mystery, which is another Rick Brant story. Those are the books I have read last month, and the ones I started. As of after finishing the book I finished yesterday, I've completed 28, read 28 books out so far this year. I'm good with my Goodreads, where I had set a goal for 36 for the year. I'm trying to get 8 read this month to surpass that, or to maybe try change my goal up to 72, since I'm around almost halfway through, and just under in 5 months I'm only 8 short of the goal I had set at the beginning of the year. Well, that's all I have for this time, so until next time, take it easy and keep on reading.